All right, well, you sent me something over here about Glen Drover talks about his involvement with Geoff Tate's Queensryche. I thought that was kind of funny that John didn't know which version of Queensryche that he was going to be playing with.
That was funny.
I think it's the latter. I think it's the band with the new singer, but I'm not really sure.
He don't care. He's not going to see him play.
Of course not.
He's going to come in, play his gig, and leave.
Is
Queensryche the headliner on that?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I didn't see the lineup on that bill.
Yeah, I don't know. So,
well, apparently Glen Drover, who more or less his claim to fame is his time in Megadeth.
His minute and a half in Megadeth.
Yeah. The latest installment of Iron City Rocks. What is that? Is that a podcast out of Pittsburgh or something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's not a terrible podcast. It just, the thing that struck me about Glen Drover here was that it really didn't seem like he knew how he got into Queensryche.
Okay.
You'll hear it, dude. He just was like, well, somebody knew somebody, and
they asked me, and I needed the money.
No, not they asked him. Not even that. It's something to the effect of somebody knew somebody, and somebody threw my name out there, and therefore then Dave Ellefson said I might be good for the gig, and so I got the gig. Like he doesn't have any clue how he ended up in this band.
Sure.
It's totally stupid.
Okay. Right. Iron City Rocks podcast featuring interviews with Canadian guitarist Glen Drover, formerly of Megadeth. He was in King Diamond?
Yeah.
Okay. The podcast, blah, blah, blah. All right, so what are we going to listen to this thing?
You listen to a little bit. All you need to hear really is the first question with Glen Drover is him asking him how he ended up in the band.
Okay.
He literally, and maybe I'm reading it wrong, I only listened to it once, but it just sounded like he has no fucking idea how he ended up in
All right, I'm playing with these guys, and that's basically all you need to know.
And I've never met Geoff before. That's what he said.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Hey, this is Jeff Scott Soto, and you are listening to Iron City Rocks. Turn it up, baby.
Hey, everybody. This is John Petrucci from Dream Theater. You're listening to Iron City Rocks.
Hey, this is Glen Drover, and you're listening to Iron
Didn't the Talking Metal douchebags do this exact same thing where they played all their IDs?
Maybe they either stole it from him or he stole it from them.
Okay.
Rocks.
Doesn't Kay and Abby start off with that same thing? You asked for the best, you got the best.
Well, that was Kay and Abby.
That was Kay Abby.
Nobody ever heard them, so except for us.
Okay, Kay and Abby. But they did play that same thing, right?
They did.
Okay. I love the choppy editing.
Yeah, it's good.
It doesn't like, it doesn't like flow in from one to the next. It just like chop, 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 chop.
And no more than 2 seconds from each band. I like that too.
Right.
Hello and welcome again to episode 169 of the Iron City Rocks podcast.
How about if they number these podcasts now? Isn't that what the Talking Metal does?
Maybe we should number ours. We're at like about 400 or something.
I think it's way more than that.
Are we?
16 years times an average of 50 a year?
No, but I'm saying podcasts.
Oh, podcasts. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, show-wise, we're at number like 2,000 or something.
Well, let's see. What do we got? Like 16 years times 50. So we're 500, we're close to 900.
Is that all?
900? Yeah, 900. 900 weekends over 16 years.
Jesus Christ.
That's
sadist.
It's a lot of weekends.
No wonder you're not married.
Yeah, no wonder I'm single. Chicks don't put up with you dedicating your weekends to doing the classic metal show.
You only gave up 800 weekends, so why would she have a problem with that?
Right.
Your host, John. The Iron City Rocks podcast comes to you from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, bringing you the greatest hard rock, heavy metal, blues, music, talk on the net. Episode 169, we are going to...
Did you ever notice everybody's the greatest?
Yeah. I wonder how they all tie like that. I mean, who rates them?
I mean, you and I have been doing this show for a long time, minus your 2.5-year absence. But regardless of that, I don't think we've ever once gone, we're the greatest.
We might have goofing.
Yeah, but we've never just flat out said, we're the greatest classic metal show on the net.
Well, we don't need to because we are.
We're the greatest ever.
We're the best.
This is the best.
That's right. There's nothing better than this.
A couple prog rock, probably prog metal to be more specific, bands. We are going to take a listen to Sacred Dominion, who cleaned up last year in the 2011 Iron City Rocks Pittsburgh Music Awards. We'll play a track from them in just a moment. We're also going to talk to a band on Nightmare Records out of Pittsburgh, PA, called the Order of Nine. We're going to talk to them. And to top it all off, a man whose name has been all over the news headlines, the blabbermouths and brave words of the world, Glen Drover, who is announced to be the guitarist for the new incarnation of Queensryche, fronted by...
So his name has been all over because everybody's interested in Glen Drover?
No one cares about Glen Drover.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, this guy's been all over the net.
And I like Glen Drover, but come on. Really?
Man, outside of the fact that he was in that, Megadeth lineup, had anybody ever heard of him before?
Well, the King Diamond hardcores probably had, but that's about it.
I never heard of Glen Drover outside of Megadeth.
Yeah, I sort of knew who he was, but that being said, he's a good guitar player.
I'm not diminishing his talent. I'm just saying I never heard of the guy outside of Megadeth.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't think there's a whole lot of... I don't think people are talking about the Queensryche thing because Glen Drover joined it.
I don't think so either.
It's all about Bobby Blotzer.
Right.
By original vocalist Geoff Tate. So we're going to talk to Glen in just a little bit. But first, let's start out with the track Somewhere from Sacred Dominion. You can find more information on these guys out at sacreddominion.com.
So does this guy play whole songs or what?
Yeah, fast forward.
Oh, okay.
I should have cut this up.
I haven't actually bothered to even read about all the drama that ensued with the two camps. So Geoff Tate has formed his own band. He's got Glen Drover. He's got Carrie Kelly, who was a guitarist with the band for a number of years with Queensryche. Also, Bobby Block.
What?
He said the wrong name.
Carrie Kelly? Is he
Kelly.
talking about Kelly Gray?
Right.
Okay. I was just
Close.
like, did I miss something here?
What, you don't remember the days when Carrie Kelly was in Queensryche?
No, I don't.
Where you been?
Okay, he means Kelly Gray.
Yes.
Okay.
Of Pittsburgh fame, drummer of Rat, and Rudy Sarzo in the band. Rudy Sarzo, who had just been on the show a couple weeks ago, who is in Animetal and Tread and has been in Quiet Riot and Ozzy and Dio and a million other bands. So,
did I ever tell you the story about flying out to L.A. and Rudy Sarzo was in this, like, 2 seats away from me?
No.
I was flying out of Chicago, going to L.A., and I was in first class, and I looked over, and Rudy Sarzo was like 2 seats, like 1 row over, 2 seats back.
Nice.
And I was traveling with my brother-in-law. We were going out to L.A., and I go, hey, there's Rudy Sarzo. And, of course, he didn't know who he was.
Ooh!
Yeah, exactly. I said, so I'm going to go over there and talk to him, right?
Right.
So I went over there, and I was going out to L.A., and I was going to hook up with Nader and a couple other people and stuff, and I had some Classic Metal Show T-shirts and stuff in my my bag. And I had it in the overhead compartment. I pulled out his shirt and stuff. And I went over there, and this was when his book Off the Rails came out.
Right, sure.
And I went over there and talked to him, and I had spoken with him before, and I walked up to him, and he looked at me like, like I know who you are,
Right.
And I went over and said, hey, Rudy, and I told him who I was and stuff. Oh, yeah, I remember, I remember talking to you and stuff, and we were kind of chatting.
Right.
And this was when, this was right after Dio had passed away.
Okay.
And there was something about, no, this was after Kevin Dubrow passed away.
Okay.
And he wasn't like invited or allowed to be at the funeral or something.
I remember that.
Because there was some kind of a falling out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically asked him about that.
Right.
I said, I heard that, there was some kind of a controversy there about you not being allowed to attend the funeral or something or to that effect. And, he goes, yeah, there was a lot of misunderstanding there and so on and so forth. But anyway, long story short, I had given him one of the CMS T-shirts.
Right.
And somebody, I can't remember who it was, if it was Richard or somebody, sent me this photo where Rudy was actually wearing the T-shirt after a show.
Nice.
And he was taking pictures with like fans and stuff, and he was wearing the Classic Metal Show T-shirt.
It's awesome. Another one.
Which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, we got a lot of those pictures now, don't we?
Yeah, there's people out there wearing those shirts all over,
right.
all over the place, which I think that's cool.
I do too. It's awesome.
But we're the best.
That's right. That's why they're wearing our shirts. We're the best.
We're the greatest ever.
Haven't seen any pictures of anybody wearing an Iron City podcast shirt.
So anyway, it was just kind of coincidental that he just happened to be on the plane.
Sure.
And I just walked over there, and we were just kind of shooting the shit, Nice guy, though.
I just wish you would have told this story more like John Ostronomy would have. So, I saw Rudy Sarzo on the plane, and I talked to him.
End of story.
End of story. I said, hey, man, what's up?
And he said, cool, man.
He said, hey, how are you?
And then I went back to my seat.
And I sat back down, and then I told my guy next to me, hey, I just talked to Rudy Sarzo.
And that's really how the story goes.
They suck.
Geoff really kind of doing a David Lee Roth solo thing where he's going out and getting the absolute best band you can imagine. So it was really cool to talk to Glen about the situation.
Stop. He's absolutely getting the best band out there together.
I don't think so.
Which guy is the best? Now, I will admit, Glen Drover is a great guitar player.
Yeah, but is he like a very highly sought after guitarist?
No. He compared him to David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth got the best guitar player that was out there with Steve Vai.
Right.
Glen Drover is not Steve Vai.
No, nobody even knows Glen Drover.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Anybody? I mean, hardcores like us know who Glen Drover is. The average fan does not know Glen Drover's name.
No.
So, and Bobby Blotzer, that guy's not the best drummer in Rat, I'd bet. I'd bet you Stephen Pearcy can outplay him on drums. That's just a hunch, but I would bet that to be true.
Right. The only thing Bobby Blotzer's got going for him, and this is not a knock on him personally, it's just longevity.
Yeah, he's hung around.
That's it.
I don't know how he's not dead.
Would anybody go, man, we really got to get Bobby Blotzer on this?
Apparently Geoff Tate did, since he put the best band available together.
Well, you know what? If they hadn't had a falling out, you know who Geoff Tate probably would have benefited by having in his band?
Who?
The former drummer of Dream Theater.
Oh, yeah, Mike Portnoy.
Yeah, if he hadn't had some kind of a falling out with him, Mike Portnoy would have been a more suitable drummer for his lineup of Queensryche.
See, I just think this whole Queensryche lineup stinks because he just went with just lame names that are names so that he could sell a couple more tickets to hardcore.
Right. Well, we got Bobby Blotzer from Rat. We got Glen Drover from Megadeth. We got,
Instead, he could have put together Don't you think that the guys in Symphony X would have lined up to do this project
Sure.
with him?
Or he could have got, the guys who did that song, Walk Away from the Shadow or whatever. What was that name of that band?
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I can't think of the name of the band off the top of my head. I don't know, but those are the kinds of guys he should have got. He should have put together a band that clearly built their whole career, but is not a huge band. But they built their career based on trying to mimic
Mystic Prophecy.
Mystic Prophecy, right?
Yeah, he could have gone and got Mystic Prophecy as his backup band.
Yeah.
And they could have done the Queensryche material to a T, if not better.
Sure, absolutely. And it would have been you're talking about guitar players that you could get. In that realm, Michael Romeo from Symphony X, that guy is fucking stunningly good. Put that guy in there to play the Michael Wilton parts. I mean, that would have been a fantastic band. And you're right, Mike Portnoy would have been a fantastic drummer.
That's my point, because he's in a band that's in that vein of a Queensryche.
Yeah, I mean, you get some of those guys together. Now you're talking about something that's going to be competitive.
Right.
Instead of what it is. And look, me and you both like Geoff. Jeff's always been cool with us. But what he's doing is embarrassing to what he has been.
Right.
He's always been that guy that was, integrity and class and whatnot, and putting this fucking ragtag lineup of guys that bounce from band to band is just a poor idea.
I agree.
I can't believe he's doing it. I'm stunned that he's doing it, to be honest.
Right.
But anyway.
Hadn't even, as we spoke, met many of the guys in the band, so it'll be very interesting to see how the chemistry of the band comes together as they get together. So, as those of you who had been following our Facebook page, Geoff Tate is doing.
Why will that be interesting?
Well, it's more or less just a hodgepodge of guys that have nothing similar in common.
Why does this guy think that'll be interesting to see how the chemistry comes together? What even makes him think the chemistry will come together?
He doesn't. He just knows the names.
Yeah, he even said himself, these guys don't know each other.
Right.
They've met each other.
Right.
So you don't know that they can play together. It just sounds bad.
Tour right now. He's doing some tours with dates with Alice Cooper, doing some solo shows. Those are solo shows. Those are not Queensryche shows.
And the difference is?
What's the difference?
That's my point. What's the difference?
Well, I'm going to one of these Queensryche shows, by the way.
Yeah, I know. You told me that was coming to Tim Ripper's Tap House.
Yeah, at the end of October, I'm going to one. And Ripper has a special on it where you can get half-price tickets. If
really? They're going half price?
Half price as long as you buy your dinner there.
Oh.
If you come in between 6 and 9, you can get your dinner and a half-price ticket.
Hey, I'm going to be here all week. Don't forget to tip your waitresses. I'm Geoff Tate of the pseudo Queensryche.
Somehow I got a feeling that before it's all said and done, you'll have special guest bartenders, Geoff Tate and Queensryche.
Right. Don't forget to tip your bartenders and your waitresses. I'll be here all week. Try the veal. It's great.
What a
next tour will be forthcoming, as Glen mentions in the interview. Think of that more as a 2013 kind of thing. So a lot to look forward to there. So without further ado, we're going to talk to Glen Drover.
Ouch. What's up with that overdriven music?
Come on, that's his leading into interview music, that talk to me music.
I appreciate the fact that people are out there doing podcasts and whatnot, but at least, come on, just deal with the levels, will you?
Yeah, because it's not like you're doing it live where you can have all kinds of fuck-ups.
Right, like we do.
Like we do.
Yeah, we fuck up all the time.
That's right.
Especially me. Jesus Christ, lately. My studio's been a disaster area.
Well, when I get up there next week, we're going to fix some shit.
Right.
I'm doing great, thank you. Right.
A little over a year ago, and then you.
He's like Nader. He's in the bathroom.
Yeah, of course. It's good audio.
Wow. He's worse than Stevie Peepee with all the echoing.
Stevie Peavy ruled, though.
Did that the show with Dave Martone, and haven't heard much from you in the last year or so, but in the last week or so, I've heard your name a zillion places. So for those not up to...
Really, a zillion?
Zillion. Not a million or a billion, but a zillion.
Okay. In all honesty, when you think about music news websites, what are, say, the top 3?
Well, there would definitely be Blabbermouth, Brave Words, and maybe Loudwire.
Loudwire? See, I wasn't even thinking that. I was thinking more like Sleaze Rocks.
Sleaze Rocks.
Or Melodic Rock.
Of which I may have an announcement of me having some involvement with.
Okay. So those are the ones that I think of right off the top. Brave Words, Blabbermouth, melodicrock.com.
Loudwire actually does better business than Blabbermouth.
Well, regardless of that, I personally am not familiar with Loudwire.
Just check it out. It's a good site.
I'll check it out, but I would not say a trillion places.
Yeah, well, there's, 5?
That's hardly.
There's 5.
The speed, you are now aligned with Geoff Tate and his iteration of Queensryche. So can you give us a little background on how you and Geoff crossed paths?
You know, I've never met him before. What happened was...
All right. I've got to get down to this. Okay. Where is this guy speaking to where his audio is like he's bouncing off the walls, and then he's got a phone audio from this Glen Drover? I mean, I'm trying to even think about how this could be even recreated.
Tape recorder?
What's with the echo, though? Is he in the bathroom or something?
Well, if he's got a tape recorder and it's on a desk, maybe it's echoing off the back of the desk.
Well, here's what I want to ask, and I know you don't know the answer because we don't know what these people are doing.
Right.
Why don't these people just get Skype?
Who knows?
Get a Skype-in number.
$60 a year.
And just record it, because Skype has a recording property. You just plug in a mic, you hit Skype, you hit record, and you record your conversation, and you're both equal level, and you both sound the same.
Or even if they do it with a tape recorder, run the tape recorder out from your computer into the tape recorder so that you get both audios and you sound clean.
But this echoing and this phone stuff, and it's like holding up the phone up to the microphone, and you're like in the bathroom, and I don't understand why this is so difficult, especially when there's modern technology that's available to anybody to do.
Dude, it's not like everybody can afford $60.
You don't even have to pay the full $60 for the month or for the year.
Oh yeah, I know. You could pay like $3.95 a month or whatever it turns out to be.
Holy smokes!
I'm not 100%. I think it could be part of some management that he has or whatever. Some guy who's also good friends with Dave Ellefson from Megadeth.
Okay.
I guess they were talking about members and stuff, and my name came up.
Excellent.
How in the world, if you're going into a new band and you're doing interviews about it, how do you go into it with the story of, I have no idea in the world how I ended up in this?
Somebody was talking to management, and then Dave Ellefson mentioned me, and the management thought, yeah, this guy would work, and why don't you give him a call? And yeah, I don't know. I've never even met the guy. To be honest with you, I'm not even a Queensryche fan.
How about bigger issue? If you're Geoff Tate and you're putting together your new band, do you not meet him first?
You would think.
Maybe I'm stupid here, but I want to meet these guys. I want to have them in. I want to audition them. I want to see if they can do what I need. I mean, how does he fucking know? Because some manager guy told him that this guy could play?
This guy could play guitar. He's all right with me. Yeah. All right, I'll take your word for it. I'll take him.
Yeah, he's in.
He's good.
Yeah, we don't ever have to get together to rehearse, I guess. I mean, seriously, am I wrong in thinking that just sounds really poor?
again, I don't know. It's bizarre to me that you go, some management guy, and Dave Ellison recommended me, and then he said, hey, he could play, and he's available, and sure, why not? And, I've never... Yeah.
That's the part that gets me the most. I've never met him. He's in Geoff Tate's band, and he's never met Geoff Tate.
Right.
How the fuck does that happen? Was there ever a time that John Levin was in Dokken before he met Don?
No.
Was there ever a time that Sammy Hagar was in Van Halen before he met the Van Halen
They bring
guys?
them down. They audition them. Go, hey, does this guy have chemistry with us? Does he pull off the attitude we need or the style we need? Or, is he fit the bill? It's not.
But do I like the guy?
Yeah. Do we get along?
You just got thrown out of a band because they all hated you. So now you're bringing in guys you're announcing guys in your band that you don't even know like you, or you can get along with, or you can have a conversation with.
Right.
Really?
Do you play well with these other members that I've chosen to be a part of this band? Is there chemistry here at all?
Right. It just sounds like it's going to be horrendous.
It's just like, we'll just throw this together. This guy's been in the business for a while. I'm sure he could play.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll figure it out.
Whatever. We'll work it out as we go along.
If not, I'll spit in his fucking face.
Jay is his name or something. But I know.
Or something.
Just some guy. I think his name's Jay. He put me in the band.
This guy, I don't know. He just said, whatever. And I said, okay. And he just said, okay, we'll throw you, 600 or 800 bones a week. And I said, yeah, fine. I'm out of gig right now. Sure, I'll take it. Whatever.
Unbelievable.
Dave Ellison, and let's give him a call and see what he thinks about Glen and and all that kind of stuff, and trying to figure if I would be a good fit or not, and this and that. And he gave me a good recommendation, and then I got a call within a few days.
Oh, there you go. Have you worked with any of the guys that have been?
Where is this guy? Where is he?
Store. He's calling from his job, working the subway or something.
He's in the bathroom stall with a tape recorder and his cell phone connected.
Doesn't want his boss to hear.
Yeah. Listen, I got to take a bathroom break. I'll be right back.
Right.
Rudy Sarzo, Bobby Blotzer, Kelly Gray, who was with Queensryche for a period of time, and Randy Crane. Have you worked with any of these guys in the past?
No.
Okay.
As a matter of fact.
No. As a matter of fact. I don't even know these guys.
What's their names again?
He just told me to show up. Can you believe that? I mean, granted, this isn't Rockline or something that's going out over commercial radio.
Right.
But to sit there and admit that I don't know who these guys are, I never played with them. I don't know. They just called me. Hey, you're in the band. Oh, okay, cool. I'll take the gig.
Dude, you don't even have to go any further than this with this podcast. That's all I wanted you to hear, was that the guitar player that's been picked by Geoff Tate has never met Geoff Tate, has never met any of the other guys in the band.
Yeah, hey, you're in. We don't know how you play. We don't know how you mesh. We don't know if there's any chemistry, but you're in.
Don't have any idea who actually put him in the band. Doesn't know for sure the guy's name that recommended him. Doesn't know his band. Doesn't know the leader of his band. Never met any of them. Yeah, this project's going to be stunningly good.
Kiss Freak says this guy is hiding in his mom's basement.
Probably true.
I think I've met Rudy Sarzo on a couple of occasions in Los Angeles, just briefly. Aside from that, I don't know anybody.
There you go. I
Wow. Well, there you go. Outside of that, fuck, I don't know anybody.
Can't wait to see him live.
Yeah. Are we going to be in town that weekend?
Well, how long ago could this have been recorded? Not very, right?
Just
Within
2
the
weeks,
month.
at least 2 weeks, maybe 3.
All right, well, they're playing gigs next month.
Yeah.
Shit. They haven't even... What are they going to do? 2 rehearsals and do it? How many rehearsals can they possibly get?
Right.
Horrendous.
I don't know. I'm just going to show up, see what happens. What the fuck? I'm not doing anything anyway.
Well, we're going to have our chance to talk to Geoff, by the way.
Since Dave kicked me out of the band and Dave came back and, whatever, I've been just struggling to make it. I'll take the $500-600 he's willing to pay me a week to show up. Why not?
Why not? No.
Well, when I look at the lineup myself, other than, of course, Kelly, who has known Geoff, I think, forever, it seems.
Yeah.
Your style, to me, seems to be the most conducive. Rudy does have the ability, I think, to be almost like a chameleon. He's got his Animetal project and Different Tread, I believe, is the other band he's playing with right now. So he seems to be pretty malleable to any situation. But Bobby Blotzer, you kind of a different style of music he came from as well. So do you guys know?
Yeah, but the guy is a really good drummer.
Mm-hmm.
For those that don't know.
Really?
I never knew that.
I never thought, geez, who would be really good on this project would be Bobby Blotzer. That would be the first one to come to mind.
Okay, if you, and obviously we can't do it now because we're already talking about Blotz, but if somebody came up to you on Thursday of this week when you're not thinking about it, said, hey, name me the top 10 drummers in the kind of music you listen to, would Bobby Blotzer ever be in that top 10?
No.
No chance.
No way.
There's no chance he would be in the top 10. Maybe even the top 20.
Outside of the fact that he's been in Rat since the inception or, early on.
Mm-hmm.
What has Bobby Blotzer done, aside from the Saints and Sinners thing?
Dude, obviously Contraband.
Okay. Outside,
Nothing.
He's not like one of the most notable drummers out there. He doesn't. Again, Bobby has played with Rat, but is he an outstanding drummer? Is he a Tommy Lee? Is he a, outside of the, classic metal? Is he a Phil Collins? Is he a?
See, you're stretching into like good players. I'm saying he's not a Mick Brown. He's not a whoever the drummer was from Love Hate. He's not a Simon Wright.
Right.
He's not even. No one considers him even in that category.
Right.
Nobody does. He's lower tier. And that's not even slapping him. I like Rat, but Rat. Look, anybody can play drums in Rat.
That's my point, though. He is not a standout drummer to where, oh man, we got, it's not like we got Bobby Rondinelli.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Bobby Blotzer. It's just like, okay, well, I don't know that I would even recognize anything that Bobby has done.
Yeah, if you heard only Rat drum tracks, would you recognize them?
No,
probably not.
Of course not.
Just sound like somebody beating drums.
Right. That's my point. There's nothing stylistically that sets him apart from anybody.
That's exactly it. So the way these guys keep saying Bobby's such a good drummer, who says that?
Who said?
Yeah, who's ever said that?
No. So I'm sure he's going to be able to play this stuff, no problem. He's very, very good drummer. What most people know him for is more basic hard rock,
sure,
which is what Rat do. But he's a very. I've seen him in a couple of live situations, and he's no slouch, man. He's a good drummer.
Yeah, Bobby.
Well, he stated it right there. Most people know him as a basic hard rock drummer.
Right.
Basic.
What was the band that he wanted us to play when we interviewed him last? He's
Emerson,
like,
Lake and Palmer.
King Crimson or something.
No, Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yeah, something horrible. We played like 10 seconds of it and turned it right off.
Right.
Long enough to get him off the phone, and off it went.
Sure.
Bobby.
So, Just for the fact that this guy would step up and go, I don't know these guys, never played with them, never met them, don't know anything about them, but, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in. Why not?
That's ridiculous.
I know. There's not much else on this, really. I mean, the first question was all I really wanted you to hear.
That's cool. Just ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
So this guy from Steel City Podcast got this guy on the show and said, hey, you're in the new Queensryche. What's that like?
I said, I am?
What's that like?
Exactly.
You're in. What is that like? What's it like playing with Geoff Tate?
Yeah. Ooh.
What? Oh, I just got the gig last week, dude. I don't know. I don't know any of these people.
It's just a gig.
Yeah.
That's about what it said. It's just a gig.
Yeah. How did you get in? Well, I know this guy, and David Elvison said I was cool, and then this manager guy, he said,
I think he did it.
Yeah, like call him up, and I don't know, dude. It's just like they said, just show up, okay?
Look, all I know is the first gig's October, whatever, and I'll be there.
Yeah. I don't know. They sent me over some songs, and, I'm learning them, and, what do you want from me?
Come on. So bad.
But I guess I gotta admit I got to admire his candid, his candid answers.
Could have lied.
He could have said, me and Geoff have been, friends for years, and I've been a fan of Queensryche, and he could have said all that, but he was just like, nah, I never met Geoff. I don't know anything about it. Don't know any of these players. Never played that music.
Right. Never heard of him.
Bobby's a good drummer. I'm sure he could pull it off.
Right.
That
makes you want to go spend money too, doesn't it?
No.
When guys in the band are saying, yeah, I'm sure they can pull it off.
I'm sure he could pull it off.
Sure he can pull it off. Well, good. That makes me want to go throw $35 down to see it.
So you're going to go see the Geoff Tate lineup at Tim Ripper's Tap House in Akron?
I am.
And when is this?
8th. October the 28th, I think, or the 26th. It's one of those 2 days.
Wow.
It's either the Friday or the Sunday.
Wow.
I'm there. I'm all about it.
That's funny. He's playing the Tap House.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
They were playing the House of Blues, which, is about 1,000 seats, to play in the Tap House.
Yeah, about 100 seats. Well, I'm going to go, and I'm going to bring that little iPhone tape recorder thing
and then you said that there's a discount if you buy dinner?
Yeah, if you come at 6 o'clock, between 6 and 9 o'clock, and have dinner. I just saw this today on their Facebook.
You have dinner. Well, we'll let you have half-price tickets.
Half-price tickets if you buy dinner there.
How bad has that got to be to sell out 100 seats at half price?
And you got to give dinner away.
Right.
Oh, I guess you got to pay for dinner, but oh boy.
Wow.
Thunder Bruce. Maybe Chris can introduce Glen Drover to Geoff.
Nice. Hey, Geoff, this is your guitarist over here. This is Glen.
How you doing?
You know this guy?
How you doing? Come on over here and have a glass of Insania and let's speak.
Right. Nice. Perfect. All right. Well, since we're talking about Queensryche, let's jump into some tunage here. Let's play something from the Warning release. Let's play No Sanctuary.
All right. Sounds good.
So we'll be back. We'll do a couple more things, and we'll get out of here for the night.
All right.
All right. It's Queensryche exclusively here
on your classic